and welcome to Knit in the City. I'm Rebecca, the city is Malmö, and today I am back with a regular episode where I talk about my plans, what I've been knitting, what I have finished, and not in that order, but yeah. I'm going to start to talk about the things that I have finished during the month of March. There is a bit of sun on my face. Maybe I should just draw the blinds. I mean, spring is definitely here. The sun is shining, it's 12 degrees, it's super lovely. Yeah, I think that's better. Okay. But yeah, I'm gonna start to talk about my finished objects. And the first one I'm going to talk about is this one that I'm wearing. And I will insert a picture because you don't want to see what's under here because it's not very nice. But this is the Luna Tea by Charissa. And I'm so happy that I finished this project. I'm so happy I started it because this has been on my queue for such a long time. And well, once I sat down and started knitting it, it took me 2 weeks. So, and I think I'm going to make more of this because it's really pretty and I would like it in different colors. And yeah, it was a quick knit and it's not boring at all. I've heard people say that ribbing is really boring to knit, but this is a broken rib, so every other round is just stockinette, and then every other is the ribbing. So maybe that helps. It's knit on 4mm needles, so that gives it a quite loose fabric, which I like. It's still not see-through. And I have knit this in Drops Baby Merino in this beige color that I think looks pretty good actually. I usually don't wear beige at all, but I have figured out that some beiges are actually cool, and I think this is one of them because I feel good wearing it. This is a garment that is knit with negative ease, and it does have that, but it doesn't feel tight, or it just feels like it feels nice to wear. And since this is a merino wool yarn, I'm not going to be able to wear it in the height of summer. But it's perfect for spring, and I can also wear it in the winter as a layering piece. Yes, and I have knit a size 7. This pattern comes in 14 sizes, so that is a pretty good range. And I knit size 7, and it fits perfectly. I used 4 full balls of the yarn, 50-gram balls, and a little bit of a 5th, so it doesn't take up a lot of yarn, and I think the sleeve length is pretty good as well. That's all I have to say about that. That was quite a lot actually, but yeah, I love this. So happy I finally knit it, and it feels good against the skin as well. The only thing, I have not blocked this yet, and the reason I haven't, so if there is some kind of wonkiness somewhere, that's why. But the reason I haven't is because this is a superwash yarn, which is not ideal. So I am afraid that this is going to grow with blocking. So I'm just going to wear it for as long as I can until I have to wash it. And then we'll see what happens. And I actually haven't, I finished it quite recently. So this is the first time I'm actually wearing it. My next finished object is a pair of tan shorts by Helga Isager. Sorry, something is stuck in my teeth. And I knit a pair for my oldest daughter last summer, and now I have recently finished a pair for my youngest daughter. I don't have them here, but I will insert a picture. But I can show you the yarn that I used. And it is this lovely Sandnes Tynn Lene, which is a yarn that I really love. This has cotton, linen, and something else. Not sure what. Bamboo. don't know, but it's mostly cotton. The thing with this is like it's super soft and it's not hard on your hands like most cotton yarns are. It's really lovely to knit with, and it makes for a really nice and drapey fabric, which is not ideal for shorts, but they are for summer, and it's nice if they're airy and light. So yeah. Another thing I finished this month I have not been monogamous as opposed to the last one. But I did finish my porcelain sweater. And this is a bit big. Maybe I should put a picture of this as well. We'll see. So what I had to do with this one. Okay, a word of warning first. Read the pattern. I didn't, because there are a few different versions of this and you can choose different paths to take with this. So what I did was knit the back first, then knit the front, and then put them together and work in the round. What I should have done, and which the pattern also told you to do if you had just kept reading a little bit, was to knit the back, pick up stitches here, and then knit the front. Because what happened, if you're great at sewing, you're gonna be fine, doesn't matter. But if you're like me and really bad at sewing, then this could happen. Yeah. My hair is going to fall there, so hopefully nobody notices. But I really wished I had paid more attention so that I could have picked up these stitches instead. I made a modification to this, not because I wanted to, but because I had to. Because after I had finished the color work, is these 3 bands, then I had a crop top. So I had to add one more of these to the bottom of the sweater to make it be the right length for me. I don't know if my gauge is off. I actually haven't measured gauge for this one. But this has been blocked, so I can find out. I also had to, because the sleeves are only supposed to be 2 bands of color. So, sorry. I had to add a 3rd one because otherwise this would have been a 3/4 length sleeve, which I really don't like, especially not in such a warm garment as this. Because this is knit holding 1 strand of Drops Fabel, which is a sock yarn, and 1 strand of Drops Kid Silk. So, this is, it needs to be cold for you to want to wear this. It has a really nice fold over here and tubular bind off, which I recently figured out how to do. At the sleeve cuffs and down here. So I'm really happy with this. Apart from the seams, I'm really happy with this. Yeah. And the last thing I finished in March was a pair of fingerless mittens. And these are the Polymnia by Sari Nordlund. And they're from her book, Softly Timeless Knits. And these are actually longer in the pattern. They look like this. But I didn't have enough yarn to make them that long because I made them with the leftovers of the Haven shawl, which is also a Sari Nordlund pattern. This is so pretty, I love this shawl. Yeah, and then I also have a beret. This is the Colette. And now I have blocked this. These 2 were not finished in March, but they're now a set, which I'm really happy about. So I can put these on so you can see the cable pattern better. Yeah, ruining my hair. Like this. So what I did was that I started off, because they are started up here. So I began after all the decreases. I need a bit of ribbing first. and then I've made 3 repeats of the pattern. So there is 1 repeat before the thumb and then 2 repeats, because I wanted to get back to the ribbing up here for it to look nice. And these are knit in Clara by Permin, which is discontinued, but it is a 55 cotton, 45 wool. So I mean, these can be worn in spring, and like a beret doesn't really cover your ears properly either, so this will be a great set for spring. That was all of my finished objects, and now I'm going to move on to my unfinished objects, or like works in progress really, because these are ones that I have been working on throughout the month. And I'm gonna start with the boring ones, because I decided to, every time I sit down and knit, if I have like a long stretch of time, I'm going to take 15 minutes to work on a project that I really don't want to work on. So have I done that? Sometimes, most of the time not, because I feel like I don't have enough of time to sit and knit. So I just want to get into what I enjoy doing. But one of these projects is something that I picked up from last year, and this is a summer knit. This is the Sara by Sari Nordlund. Are you sensing a theme here? And this is knit in a cotton yarn, which also is not, which is also discontinued, so doesn't. I haven't knit much on this. I mean, I've done this bit. This is super boring. It's gonna look really nice. It has buttons up the front and it's a V-neck. So I'm gonna be happy with a finished object, but it is a real slog. But yeah. The next one that I have also been dreading to pick up is my Gerrebacka socks by Evelina Roos. It's these Christmas socks that are knit from the toe up, which is a construction that I'm not friends with. So that's probably why I haven't touched them. I am using the red is a Regia sock yarn. It's called Regia Winter Stars. I don't think they have this line anymore. It was just a seasonal thing from a few years ago. The white yarn is an unknown sock yarn. And then I will show you a picture so that you can see what a full sock is supposed to look like, because that's probably never gonna happen on this channel. And for the leaves on the cuff, I'm gonna use this green. This is Gerrebacka Junior Raggi, which is also this is their thin sock yarn. So, and this, I mean, I maybe have knitted like 2 centimeters or an inch on these, so I mean, you can't tell the difference if you've seen them before. Next one is a bit more fun actually. And I mean, this one I have shown you before, but this is the Kerr sweater by Clow or Gerrebacka. And I mean, I really love this pattern. It's so pretty. And last time I showed it, I think it was sleeveless. And now I have knit all over the right sleeve. And I have done all of the color work on the left sleeve. So, I mean, I have high hopes of finishing this in April. Maybe even in March, because there are a few days left. But we'll see. We'll see how much knitting time I'll get. This one I have knit in Klippans tvåtrådiga, and this is a 2-ply wool yarn. It's a sport weight. It has 300 grams. No, it doesn't have 3. It has 300 meters on 100. It's actually, all of these here is the same brand. So just looks like this. And these can only, this is like a, they make blankets from the yarn, and whatever leftovers that they get, they sell them really cheaply. So you can't get this yarn outside of Sweden. But I mean, any 2-ply 100% wool yarn that is the right length, well, would work for this. Yeah, I mean, this has gone very well, no trouble at all. I mean, there were times when I wasn't focusing and I made a mistake in the pattern, but then I just ripped back and fixed it. Usually it wasn't. Usually I noticed on the same row, because then it didn't work out in the end. So yeah, after finishing the sleeve, I'm also picking up for the collar. And then it's done. This I have knit a size 5, which should fit me. I mean, it is for my bust measurement, but I feel like these sizes are a little bit smaller than I'm used to, because this fits, it's not snug, but it has maybe 5 centimeters of positive ease, 4 or 5, like 2 inches. And it feels like, I mean, I don't like something that is really oversized, but you also want to be able to wear something underneath, because this wool is pretty scratchy. Not that that bothers me a lot, but I mean, this is a kind of sweater that you would want to wear like a t-shirt or something underneath. The yarn feels a bit thin to be the weight that it is, because you kind of, I don't know, you can see it's a little bit see-through, but this is actually a good thing, because I have a lot of DK weight sweaters and they are really warm, so I think this is more spring appropriate, like you can wear it on the cooler days. Yeah. And the next one is also a pattern that's been in my queue for a really long time. I mean, I had, one of my goals for 2024 was to knit from my, not stash, but yeah, I always want to do that. But knit from my Ravelry queue. And I mean, the Kerr, this one, and also this next one are projects that I picked from my queue. So I'm doing well. This is the 9 p.m. tank by Tiffany Thai. And this is a made to measure pattern. So you measure, I got the yarn in my mouth now. You measure your body and your gauge, and then you just put your numbers into a form, and that calculates how many stitches you cast on and decrease and whatever. So with this one, you start with a front, and then you make this double knit edge. Then you go and make the back the same way. The back is a little bit lower. And after you've done that, you pick up stitches to make the straps. And I have made these a little bit wider than the pattern says, because I want them to hide my bra straps. And this yarn is Stickwick Blenda Gotland, which is really soft yarn. So it's going to be nice to wear next to skin, because that's how I plan to wear this. This is a blend of merino and Gotland sheep. The Gotland is a bit more scratchy than the merino, but in this blend you can't feel any scratch at all. Yeah, so it's a 100% wool yarn, and this is non-superwash, which is nice. And I plan to wear this as an inner layer under a sweater or cardigan or whatever. So this is also not a summer tank, because that would be too warm. But under a jacket or a cardigan in spring, that would work pretty well. Yeah, and I've just started on this, so not much more to say about that. The next one I indulged. I went to a really pretty yarn store with my knitting friends a while ago, and because I was finishing a pair of fingerless gloves for my mother. I think they were called snowflake mitts or something like that. I can find out. And they had, like, they weren't completely fingerless because they had like short fingers. And I ran out of the yarn that I was using, which I think was the Double Bliss Cash Merino. And I had no more of that yarn. And I was trying to find a yarn that matched this color. And when we went to this place, she had the Knitting for Olive Merino. And I picked up this one. That was the closest I could find. I think this is the ballerina. And I held that double to finish. There were only like 2 fingers left that I had to finish. So I had almost the whole 50-gram ball left. And then when I was there, I also bought this beauty, the Isager silk mohair, yes. And this is by far the softest silk mohair that I have ever touched. So I decided to make a little scarf out of this. And this is the Simple Thing, which is a free pattern on Ravelry. And if this looks wonky, it's because I had to, because if you don't, it's easy to miss one of the strands. And then you have to go back and pick it up, and then this is what happens. But I am sure that this is going to block out. I really love the color that this makes, and it feels really soft against your skin. This looks very much like the Sophie scarf by Petite Knit, but I think the increases are, you make the increases more often. So this is gonna look more like a tiny triangular shawl. Yeah, really nice. The next one that I have is more of a long-term project. And what I did was, I have a lot of like 50-gram balls, of odd 50-gram balls that I can't make into anything really substantial, or like even, I mean, it's only it's 1 mitten or half a hat, or yeah, unless you combine colors, which, I mean, for some maybe I could, but then I also like the whole set thing, that you have like mittens, hat, scarf, or shawl, or something like that in the same yarn. So what I did, I picked all these oddballs and things that were less than 50 grams as well, of course. And then I sorted them into colors. So I have like 1 bag with blue yarn, 1 bag with green, white, red, yeah, whatever. And then I thought I was going to make a blanket out of that. And I'm not using a pattern. This is just a like ordinary garter stitch thing. This is really long, so it doesn't, all of it doesn't fit in the frame. Almost here. Yeah, so I started with white, and going into beige here. And then I'm gonna just use up all of these colors until this is long enough to be a blanket that I can wear on the couch or as an extra layer in the bed. And this of course has all kinds of yarns in it. Most of them are DK weight, because if you have like 50 grams of fingering weight, there is a possibility you can make something from it. There are a few fingering weight yarns, like these ones I'm using now. This is a Volevo Merino, and this is Schachenmeier. This is 100% wool. This is a really thin yarn. It's like 300 grams on this 50-gram ball. So I'm holding these two together to get approximately the same gauge, but it doesn't really matter. This is just for home use. And this is not something that I am in a hurry to finish. I have 2 more projects to talk about. The next one is, I talked about the tan shorts in the beginning, and that I made a pair of white ones for older sister. And now in the pattern you get both the shorts and a tank top. So, and I was clever enough to buy yarn for the tank top as well when I bought the yarn for the shorts. And now I've started to make the tank top for my older girl. And it looks like this. It has ribbing on the sides, at the front. And this is also Sandnes Tynn Lene. And yeah, I really love this yarn. This is the best summer yarn. I mean, it might be a little bit see-through, but it's such a drapey, lovely fabric, which is really nice for a tank top in the summer. So I'm hoping to finish this and one in the turquoise, so that they will both be able to wear their sets for summer. And actually, I mean, I've been seeing all of these sets crop up on Ravelry and Instagram, and I am loving it. So I'm glad that for once I was not late to the party. Yeah. And the last one I am working on, this is from Witre design. And she has 2 books that I have been contemplating buying, but it didn't happen. So one day I went to the library and I searched through the knitting section to see if they had the book, and I didn't find it there. But then I went to the catalog and searched, and then it turns out that they had one of the books in the section for foreign languages, because this book is in Norwegian. And actually, it does come in English as well, so if you want to buy it, that's possible. I mean, unless you're Norwegian, because then it's... yeah. So, and the reason I wanted this book in the first place was a tank top that I have been eyeing for years, and I don't know why I didn't buy the pattern, but yeah. Let's see if I can find this. Yes, here. This is the retro button top. It looks like this. I really like the look of this. And this was what I initially wanted to knit. But then I looked further into the book, and then I found a dress which is made to look like this tank top, but it's just been knit longer and made into a dress. Actually, it's knit from the bottom up, so. But I mean, I really love the look of this. And this is more of a close-up. This pattern is not on Ravelry, so that's why I'm showing you pictures from the book. And I had enough yarn to knit a dress, because last summer I bought like lots of balls of Drops Bell, which is very much like Sandnes Lene, the thicker version, to knit the Singing Knit Dress, which is a roughly dress with short sleeves, and it also has buttons. But when I saw this, I felt like I liked this even more. So now I took the yarn and started this dress. And I will show you in a while. Okay, here it is. So you start from the bottom, and there is a little bit of moss stitch here on the edge, which does roll up, but I mean, hopefully it can be blocked. And then the funny thing about this is that you don't knit back and forth, but you make the same kind of moss stitch here in the middle. And then after you're done with the whole dress, you pick up stitches and make a button band with holes, sew on the buttons, but I mean, you can't open the dress, which is great, because then you don't get like openings here around the bust, which I probably would otherwise, unless you make bust darts and things like that. So I think this is actually a really clever construction. Knitting this is a bit of a slog. They want you to knit like 40 plus centimeters before you start decreasing. And I think I'm at 25 or something like that. And this is like more than 200 stitches around. But I mean, it is knit on number 4, no, yes, 4mm needles. And this yarn is DK weight, worsted weight, something like that. It has like 100 meters on this 50-gram ball. So it's not an exciting knit, but I am very excited to be able to wear this dress, and I really want to finish it so that I can this summer. That would be really lovely. So now I'm going to continue to say a few words about my plans, and I will start with my March plans and see how that went. And the UFOs that I had decided to work on was Gerrebacka, the socks that I showed you, and Boyland, which is a pair of socks from 52 Weeks of Socks that I don't have here, but I can insert a picture. And if you have been following me here, you probably know about these socks already. So the Gerrebacka I have been knitting on. The Boyland I have not, because of all the frogging and mistakes. And I mean, this is not a difficult pattern, but I did not pay attention. And also I knit the short row heel that the pattern tells you to, but I know that my foot is too wide for a short row heel, or deep maybe, for a short row heel. So I had to rip that out and make a heel flap and gusset, because otherwise the socks won't fit me. So that's that's a failure. The whips I intended to work on was the spring sweater that I'm knitting for my daughter, and I will also insert a picture of that. I have already knit one for her sister, and it's my mother who bought the yarn actually, so this is a gift from my mother, but she felt like this was too complicated for her to make, so she asked if I could knit it for her, and that has been less than successful. I mean, actually little sister has already gotten hers, way later than intended, but still. And the one I am working on now, I've only done this much on the body, and then I have both of the sleeves and the yoke left, so yeah. Hopefully she hasn't outgrown it before I'm done knitting it. And then also I intended to work on the Kerr, and I have. I mean, both of the sleeves have been knit in March, so that must be seen as a success. Also the porcelain sweater I wanted to work on, and that is finished, so very good. The new things that I cast on in March is this Luna tee, which I also finished, so I mean, I feel like I've been rather successful in March actually. And then the 9 p.m. tank that I also started, but I didn't have any intention of finishing, so that's also okay. What I wanted to have finished was the spring sweater, and I sadly failed. This was like the biggest failure this month. And also, well, Boyland I also wanted to finish, and I haven't touched it, so maybe that is the biggest failure. But yeah, moving on to April. And I mean, I finished 4 objects, so I mean, that's pretty good. My plans for April, the UFOs I want to work on, is the sock that I have started, that I want to write a pattern for. I mean, I started writing a pattern for it. And I'm making, this is going to be a free pattern, it's not going to be test knit, so that's why I want to knit it's going to be 3 sizes, and I want to knit through all 3 sizes to see that the numbers are correct and that the finished sock will fit the sizes that I say it will. So that's why this is taking so long. So this is one in my size, and I have started the second one. So this one I knit while writing the pattern, and this second one I'm knitting from the pattern. So now I can correct things that are wrong or strange or unclear. I have done the heel here. But then I also started to knit, and this is Sandnes is the yarn. And then I started to knit one in the smallest size. But this is Drops Fabel that I have knit this in. And this yarn is a little bit thinner than the Sandnes. And when I asked my daughters to try this, none of them can get it over their foot. So, and they're supposed to fit this size. So I was thinking maybe I should get some more Sandnes yarn and see if that helps, because that is thicker. So that's what I did. I got this red one. I haven't started knitting this one yet, but will do soon. This was also one of my goals, to publish a pattern on Ravelry this year. So, I mean, I do have a lot of time left, but this also is a slow process, even though it's a super simple pattern. And then the biggest size I'm going to knit in this beige one. And hopefully it's going to work out this time. The other UFO I want to work on is the Sara by Sari Nordlund that I showed you. This tag, no, this is not the one. This tag, I mean, it looks so big, maybe it's too big. I have a problem with cotton yarns, or any plant fiber. I make them too big because I don't, I mean, I'm not that used to plant fiber. I work much more with wool. Like, I mean, probably most knitters do, but yeah. Yeah, that's the second one I want to finish. And then I also really want to finish the spring sweater for my daughter. Yeah, let's see how that goes. The whips I have intended to work on the most is the Kerr, because I really want to finish it. And I'm very close to doing that. I mean, if I just concentrate, I might even be able to do that this month, because I have a few days left. Then I also want to work on the tan top, because I really want that to be finished for summer so that she can wear it with her shorts. And then the 9 p.m. tang, because I already started it, so might as well finish it. Even though like the double knit straps are not that fun to make. But yeah. And then the new things that I want to start on this month. I actually have 3 items in every category. And this is from the Spring Inspiration Plans Dreams video that I made. The next to last video that I made. Because I actually haven't started any of these projects. And that feels like... that feels a lot like me. But also, I want all those things, so I should probably start knitting on some of them. And the first one is the Robinson Wrap by Florence Miller. And I have decided to knit that, I think I said in the plans video as well. But I have decided to knit it in this lovely green color, which is Yerbo Bambu Raggi. Which is their sock yarn. I mean, they have many sock yarns, but this is one of their thinner sock yarns. And I'm going to hold it together with the silk mohair that has the same green in it, but it also has blue, yellow, pink. So I think this is a very lovely spring combination. And then I also want to knit the Darjeeling blouse. And I don't remember if I had assigned a yarn to this one in that video when I planned my spring knits. I don't think I did, because I think I didn't know that I had yarn, because this is a sport weight cotton, and I didn't think I had that. But then, deep in my stash, I found this Emma cotton yarn. This is just like a really like run-of-the-mill cotton yarn. I do like the color. It's this blue with like a hint of violet in it, or purple, and this is really old. I mean, I picked this up from a grocery store when I was a new knitter, but I have enough of this yarn and it is the right weight. So I really want to make a Darjeeling blouse from this. Yes. And the last thing I want to cast on is something that I'm really excited about. This is the blouse number 1. And in the spring planning video, I showed you a drops bell in a pink color. I later found out that I don't have enough balls of yarn to make the blouse number 1 with that yarn. But I also have this one. This is called Cherry, I think. And this one I have 8 balls, so that should be enough for my size. And it is a really nice color. It is a bit bright for me, but I mean, I'm gonna be wearing it in summer, and I mean, then you can, when you have a bit of a tan, you can wear brighter colors, and it also feels you're more drawn to brighter colors, or actually I feel like I am more drawn to brighter colors during the summer months. Yeah. So yeah. What I want to finish in April is same as March, the spring sweater for my daughter. Good luck with that. It's probably going to be a Christmas present, but yeah. And I also want to finish these socks. I mean, at least one in each size so that I can publish the pattern. And then I also want to, and this is the only thing that I feel really sure that I will succeed with. I want to finish my Kerr sweater, and since I only have like 3/4 of the sleeve, of one sleeve and the collar left, unless I run out of yarn, this is going to happen, definitely. That was all I had for today. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!